What on earth is this then? Welcome back to the £100 Nissan Micra that I've been tinkering with in recent times to make it, shall we say, slightly less bad than it was when I bought it. So what do you reckon this piece of equipment is then? Well, if we look at this piece, we could be forgiven for thinking it's some kind of probe that aliens use when they kidnap Earthlings. But no, it is in fact an engine compression test kit for petrol-powered cars. And what it enables us to do is work out how much pressure there is within each individual cylinder. And that's important because if there's not enough pressure, you're down on power. And well, I really can't afford to lose power. It's only a 1 litre engine. Now, what we'd like to see today, after I've given the car a quick clean, is reasonably consistent pressure readings on all 4 cylinders. If, in contrast, for example, the pressure was far lower on cylinder 4, that might suggest pressure is escaping through dodgy piston rings, exhaust valves, inlet valves, or some other issue. Anyway, I think the car's clean enough now. Let's start the test. So the first thing we need to do is warm up the engine, which we're doing now by just letting it run a while and cruising up and down the driveway. And then we need to bear in mind that when we actually run the compression test, we don't need the engine to actually start. It will just turn over. So what we don't want in that scenario is a whole load of petrol being pumped into the cylinders that isn't going to be consumed. So I think the best way to stop that is to simply pull out the fuse. Come on, gearbox. Doesn't want to go into reverse. Pull out the fuse for the fuel pump, and that should solve that problem. What do you reckon? Sounds like a plan to me. So the fuse for the fuel pump is down here behind this cover. So let's have a look. And it does tell us down here somewhere which fuse it is. There we are, a 15 amp. So let's find it. I think it's that one there. Now the engine is still running at the moment. I should probably turn it off, but I'm not gonna. So if I pull out that fuse, the engine should cut out, shouldn't it? Come on. As soon as it runs out of petrol, it should stop. Still going. Still going. Oh, starting to struggle. And there we are. It stopped. Let's just see if it will restart. Doesn't sound too good, does it? Now, when this engine's running normally, electricity flows through these ignition coils down to these spark plugs, which are below. But in a moment, we're going to take out those spark plugs. And what I don't want is a whole load of electricity flowing through the ignition coils that haven't got anywhere to go. So I think the best way to stop that is to simply disconnect these ignition coils. There's one. There's two. Glad they're coming out easily. Where's number 3? There it is. Come on, there we go. And last but not least, number 4. And now I need to just get my socket set and take these out. I'll take out the spark plugs too. So all these spark plugs are now out and sitting in a neat row on the doorstep, as indeed are the ignition coils. 1, 2, 3, 4. These smaller bolts you can see here, they're the ones that hold these coils in place. And what that leaves us with, if we go back to the car, is a rather bare looking engine. but nonetheless that doesn't mean we can install the compression tester. So what we need to do is take this gauge and then the rubber hose, and this end of the rubber hose goes into the bottom of the gauge like so. Come on, there we are. Now if we have a look at the other end of the hose, you can see there's this thread here, and this needs to be connected to the correct adapter, of which there are 4, to suit this car. Now, one of these adapters has to screw down into the top of the engine where the spark plug goes. The question is, which one? Well, I figured that out by taking one of the spark plugs and then these digital calipers, and I've measured the thread like so, and then I measured all of these, and I worked out that this is the closest size-wise. So what we'll do is we'll screw this down where the spark plug went, then we'll screw this on top of that, and then we'll be ready to do the test. Let's go then. So here's the adapter, and I'm just going to install it as if it's a spark plug. So down we go, and I want to be gentle here because if I cross thread this it's going to be a problem. It is getting tighter in there, but not quite there yet. Ah, okay. Right, now that is snug, but not tight. And now what we'll do is grab the rubber hose with the gauge on the end, and we've got to screw that bit into the adapter, which is a little bit fiddly, but nonetheless, we'll give it a go. Now, is that biting? Yes, it is. Okay, so round and round we go until it's snug, which it is now, but not excessively tight. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm now going to crank the engine so that it coughs maybe 5 or so times, and that will give the pressure time to build up in the cylinder, and then we can take a reading from the gauge. Are you ready? It's the big moment. Check we're neutral even though it won't start. Okay, let's have a look. Come with me, and we shall see what's going on. So we now know that this cylinder here is reading, where is it? About 180 psi. Okay, we need to remember that and now do the other 3 cylinders. Okay, well the results are in and things are looking good. The first cylinder we did, as I said earlier, was 180 psi. The next one along was 185. The next one along was 175, as indeed was the final cylinder. And what we have here is consistency. These numbers are more or less the same, which is exactly what we want to see. If, for example, one of the cylinders was about 15% different, that would suggest to me there's a problem and further investigation is required. But as things stand, those numbers are more or less the same. Happy days, nothing to suggest there's a compression problem with this engine. Now, can I tell you something in confidence, and for crying out loud, don't tell Mrs. CarSpyTV, but yesterday I was out here tinkering with this old Nissan Micra K11 and I heard this rip. I looked down and look, there's a big giant hole in my jeans. Now, if Mrs. CarSpyTV sees that, she's going to suggest I go to the shops and buy a new pair, but I really don't want to. I can't abide shopping, especially for clothes. So the obvious solution is to repair these with gaffer tape, because as we know, gaffer tape solves 99% of the world's problems, and I reckon if you don't tell her, and I don't tell her, she'll never notice. So please don't tell her. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had a message from one of my subscribers and she'd seen that video I made a while ago when I was outside in -4 degrees Celsius, freezing cold, de-icing this car and indeed my beloved Nissan Micra P12, which is parked just over there. And she said that I looked absolutely freezing, which I was, and she's very kindly sent me this dark blue hat to keep me warm, which has got a little black edge down here. But she made this, she crocheted it, which is really nice of her. And look, it's a perfect fit, so I'm never going to be cold again. And I got curious, so I did actually look her up, and she's actually got an Etsy shop, and she makes and sells all kinds of really nice things. There's a hat just like this one. There's various bags. You can get berets. What's that? That's all those scrunchy things ladies use if they've got long hair, tie them up. Christmas things, scarves, and there's even a toy cat. So I think as she's made me this hat, I should at least do something nice for her and give her a bit of a plug. So the shop is called Hooked on Dreams and it's at Etsy, and there's a link in the description of this video that takes you to her shop if you'd like a hat just like mine or something similar. Now, in the last big video I made about this car, Mrs. CarSpyTV and I replaced this engine coolant expansion tank because someone, and rumours suggest it was me, accidentally put his finger straight through it and made a big hole. Now, what I didn't tell you last time is that I paid about £16 for a new tank, which is more than I need to, but it did fit perfectly. And I know quite a few other people with Micra K11s who've bought similar tanks for less money and they didn't fit perfectly. Specifically, these holes, there's one there and there's one there, didn't line up with the corresponding holes on the inner wing, and that's a pain because that's where you bolt it to the car. Just something to bear in mind. So there we are, we've had a successful day. We've done an engine compression check and that's worked out fine. I've told you about the expansion tank for the cooling system, so that can go down there. The jeans are now as good as new, so all I need to do is put the spark plugs back in, torque them down, replace the ignition packs and put the fuse back in for the fuel pump, and then cross my fingers, everything still works. So don't forget to subscribe to CarSpyTV for further adventures. Do me a favour and click like on this video, and I'll see you next time. Farewell!